Hey guys, welcome out to the range. Today I'm running drills with my rifle setup and my support gear setup for whatever the scenario is in your head. For me, it's just basically a realistic view of the crap that happened here in the Chattanooga Valley area back in, what was it, 2020? When we were hit with seven tornadoes on Easter night. 7 tornadoes on Easter night, and it rocked our world. I mean, it legit rocked our world. And so people were without power for weeks. It was not a fun scenario for a lot of people. So civil unrest happens. It is the reality of the world we live in, whether that be man-made or natural disaster. Stupid crap happens every once in a while, so it's good to practice with your gear. Yesterday I was researching one thing, and as you guys know, you go on YouTube and you kind of get sucked down a hole, and I came upon a video about the types of lights that special operators use, and several of the comments that were made were that they don't like tape switches on their lights, that they prefer lights that have direct activation. And I thought that's funny because I've been saying that for years. The light that I've chosen for years has been the X300 U-B, not the UA. The difference is the UA has this clamping system that you see so that it slides over the rail of the handgun and it clicks in place. The UB has a thumb screw, and it actually has a cross slot on that screw that works with 5.6 or 9mm casings. Will lock into that screw, and you can tighten and or loose with whatever you happen to have on your person, which in this case is ammunition. It also works perfectly with a dime, which is actually what I use, because I get just enough control to create just enough torque, and then I can stop. When you put it on a rifle, you can torque the crap out of it. In fact, take it 15-20 inch-pounds, you're good. I don't Loctite these because I've never had one back out, ever. I also don't Loctite them on my handgun for the same reason, because I've never had one back out. But when you're doing it on a handgun, be very careful with how much torque you're applying, because if you pinch the accessory rail, or what they call the dust cover portion of the handgun, and this, you see how it's a U, this area here? If you pinch it too tightly with the light being clamped on, it'll do this, which means it'll push up into the slide, and it can retard the ability of the slide to move back and forth smoothly. So be careful with how much torque you're putting on the light when you're putting it on a handgun. The X300 lights from Surefire are lights I've used forever. I have a bunch of these. My rifle has it, my wife's rifle has it. I keep this one in this bag all the time for when I come out here to train, because this actually is my EDC handgun, although pretty soon here this is going to be relegated as my backup handgun with an X300 U-B on it. And you guys will see the EDC gun that I ran for years without an RMR is getting a facelift by Doug Presson. You guys are going to see that handgun again very soon, and I'm really excited to show it to you, because Doug was actually able to take my slide that I've had forever, and he was actually able to take it back. I sent it to him in North Carolina, and he's cutting the RMR portion out and threading it, and he's going to send it back to me. So I'm so excited to get that pretty soon. But anyways, that will then become my EDC, and this one will be relegated as a backup gun. So the point of this video is the X300 U-B has been for years my light of choice. Why no tape switch? Because whenever you do a tape switch, when you reach for your rifle and your tape switch is here, you may cause an AD. And I was at a class with a guy who is now my friend. Back then he was just another student at the class, James, I'm talking about you. And he had, I believe, 3 or 4 ADs, NDs, however you want to call it, accidental discharge, negligent discharge. He had 3 or 4 of them that night during the night shoot. It was at Valor Ridge. And it was zap after zap after zap. And then I went to a class with Dave Spalding at Handgun Combatives, and we were doing a night shoot, and the guy right beside me had this POS flashlight that he'd gotten some garbage Chinesium thing, that every time that he pulled it out, it'd go and it would barf, you know, bazillion lumens. Because here's what you guys don't understand. This is an old school 200 lumen Enforce 6X or I forget what this thing was called, but this was the legacy light that they made forever. This is the light we made when I worked for the company. I love this light. It's just a simple, like 200 lumen light. Once you get into like 1,000 lumen lights, you can't really focus that much lumen. You can't focus, and actually the term is that many. You can't focus that many lumens because the bezel that you're dealing with is not deep enough. This is a fairly deep bezel, which is why this light has a really specific beam of light that it pushes out. But once you get into the level of like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 lumens, you'd have to have a bezel that long to focus that light, which is why you get these lights that put out so much heat that they have to have a safety cap over them for the thermal sensor to read that there's something in front of the light, otherwise it'll melt everything. So the high lumen lights, while they sound like a great idea, they're not. They're not going to serve you well over time. They're going to just barf out general light. They're not really going to give you the focus that you're after. And what you're after are tactical tools that are time proven, and the Surefire line of lights are time proven. I would have said to you Enforce, but those days are gone. Enforce has now been bought out by a Chinese company, and they are no longer a US made light. They may still be made in America, but the company that now owns them is a Chinese conglomerate company that owns a whole bunch of other companies. So nobody, nope. So that's what I got to say about that. Yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thank you guys for supporting me at tier1citizen.com. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, remember, get those guns out in practice. Have a good one. Time to shoot.